We are gathered here today to tell the story of Bhopal. Bhopal is a city in central India known for its beautiful landscapes, ancient mosques, and commonly called the City of Lakes. In the late 1960s, an American chemical corporation, Union Carbide, obtained permission to build a chemical plant in the city, close to the densely populated slum areas. In the late 1970s, it became clear that the plant was not built up to existing standards and many red flags were raised. However, no improvements were made despite the reports lying on the table of American managers. On the night of December 2nd, 1984, a terrible disaster happened. 40 tons of lethal gas, methyl isocyanate, leaked out of the plants into the surrounding areas, killing over 8,000 people and injuring 500,000 more. Union Carbide eventually settled with the Indian government for a paltry sum of $500 per person injured by the gas and $2,000 per life lost. Is this the value of human life? And this travesty of justice continues until today, as the current owner of Union Carbide, Dow Chemical, is denying any liability to the disaster despite the fact that civil and criminal cases are still ongoing, and it refuses to appear in the court to face justice. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of people are still suffering from a variety of diseases related to gas exposure, and 16 communities are forced to drink water heavily contaminated with the chemical waste from the factory site that still remains on its original location.
It's not about two individuals, it's not about three activists, it's not about five survivors. It's a concept where we want to live in a world which is not dictated by corporate greed, which is dictated by the value of human life.
42 years ago, students expelled from Harvard protesting against Dow Chemical for its role in the Vietnam War. And it makes me furious that 42 years later, Dow still has blood on its hands. Or still has not done. Justice still has not been done.
Up with justice! Down with Dow! 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 Up with justice! Up with justice!
We are standing in America. The American Constitution embodies, at least in spirit, a certain idea that all human beings are created equal. It's not a very complicated idea. The point is, what do we have in practice as opposed to what we have in books? And that's where Bhopal comes in. Corporate negligence, corporate criminality is one thing, and we know about that. And people have fought long and fought hard. People are fighting in this country as in everywhere else, because it pertains to our collective future, right? We're all in it together. But there's also another question that somebody alluded to, with the Boston City water leak, right? These are also people who, if you pinch by a pin, the same amount of blood comes out, right? Who, if you tell a joke, the same muscles help them smile, right? So if that's the case, what do 25,000 dead lives deserve or want right now from us, the fortunate living? It's a question we might ask ourselves. It's a question we might ask ourselves when we get irate at the BP oil spill and the response that evokes. The question we might ask ourselves when the country where Bhopal is goes into an orgy of spending and touts itself to have joined the big league. These are questions to be asked, because a future of equity, a future of justice, is a future where humans treat other humans as humans.
Clean up now!
Down, down!
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 Clean up now!
to share a personal reflection about part of the action that we're doing today, and that is the fast. So it's now been actually 26 hours that I've been, without food, and for me, obviously, it entails a certain amount of, whatever physical discomfort. But if you think about it, the survivors of the Bhopal disaster have been suffering for 26 years, right? So it's absolutely incomparable. We're so much more fortunate than they are, and it's such a small gesture, it's such a small symbol that we're doing today by coming out compared to what they have suffered through, what they have lived through for the past 26 years. Tell me what it takes to keep that smile when the world around you just goes down in fire. Tell me how you stay alive when all that you have loved just fails to rise.
We were talking about the fact that I couldn't go to two events at the same time, so I had to choose, and I chose to come here. And because I could not be here. That was, for me, is not a choice. Because, as you may know, in Colombia we are facing the same situations, and we have been facing the situation of mining, big companies exploiting our resources, the land being contaminated, the people being moved away, displaced, and we have been facing it for a long time. And I think the cause of Bhopal, I think 26 years in Bhopal, or 30 years in Colombia, or 60 years in Chile, or 15 years now in El Salvador, we have to be here. We all have to be here.
हर जोर जुल्म की टक्कर में संघर्ष हमारा